Ganon Burr officially announced his signing to Discmania. No one saw that coming, right? I'm Jefferson from the Disc Golf World with another episode of the Weekend Wrap-Up, breaking down everything disc golf you missed from over the weekend. Today's episode is brought to you by Bad Billy Disc Golf. We believe disc golf is all about having fun. Who cares if you're sober? Bad Billy is all about bringing that big disc energy. Elevate your style, elevate your game with Bad Billy Disc Golf. They've got you covered with everything from fresh graphic tees for your casual rounds to my personal favorites, the Course to Cocktails collection, which is the perfect fit to wear at the bar after your bogey-filled round, and who knows, it might even land you a score you could be happy about. Use code DGW2024 for 20% off your order at Bad Billy Disc Golf. Check out the link below. Discmania teased the YouTube video titled The Future Is Here that was released on Saturday. It was no secret what the video was going to be about, except there was still a small group of people thinking it was going to be an announcement for a new disc. Thankfully, Discmania did announce Gannon in the retitled The Future Is Here, Ganon Burr joins Team Discmania. It was a lower budget promo featuring slow-mo black and white clips until revealing Gannon wearing the signature flat bill that now says Discmania. Already, I think it looks way better. And for those complaining it was a less in-your-face announcement, personally, I was a fan of it. I mean, wouldn't you rather the money goes back to their players, not, I don't know, a helicopter or something? I preferred the smaller production, and posting the second video which highlighted Ganon's story. I want to believe that most of you know it by now, but honestly, I doubt it. If you haven't watched it, you should go do that, as Gannon goes back to the beginnings of his disc golf career. It's worth at least to listen. But he goes years back into his experiences at the Discmania Combine, which for those confused about what that is, it was basically a disc golf showcase that at the end of it, Discmania would pick someone to add to their team. There were rounds, putting, accuracy, and other skill competitions so the scouts could get a full insight on each player. They even had the disc golfers answer questions at the end, which Gannon went on to read all his old answers for the first time again in the video. Even back then, claiming putting was his best skill just shows his love for the game, because no other 11-year-old was out there practicing their putt. Also, did anyone else feel insecure about their disc golf game watching those old clips of Gannon? I know he went pro, but damn, how could a third grader throw better than me? Only for him to say his favorite disc was the same max distance driver I was using, and I'm 4 years older than him. It was funny to hear him say that he lied on some of the questions, which is what most of us would have done in his shoes too. But what we all can relate to most is him saying he just wanted free discs. Me too, Gannon. Me too. Another thing that stood out to me is his answer to the question about touring. Even at 11, he said he wanted his life to be disc golf, including on tour. At this point, I don't know how many people that age had that dream. I love to see that we're finally at the age of the sport where kids are taking it seriously and are hoping to grow up to be a pro, because that dream is still attainable, at least more so than any other professional sport. If disc golf can focus on programs for kids like Gannon to excel, imagine what the game can be like. Discmania seems to be looking at that market to lean into. With Kyle Klein and now Ganon Burr, they have the younger generation on lock. If they can keep up the marketing, I can see Discmania being a top manufacturer more than they already are. In everyone's mind, Alden Harris is already on the team, but after Discmania teasing the announcement in the most obvious way, I'll say it's official. Alden can now bring in the young generation through his vlogs that will certainly feature a lot of teammates Gannon and Gavin Babcock. If Alden continues to make videos at the pace he was doing last season at the same quality, he will hit 100K on YouTube in 2024. The best part of the Gannon campaign so far is the tagline, "I'm where I belong." Sounds cheesy, but at the same time effective. When I heard it, I believed him. The diehard Prodigy kid was no longer there, and the future is bright for him. We're in a new era of the brand, and I think that saying fits the Future Is Here plan. Discmania has at least 3 years of Burr. I hope they can come up with more creative ways to push him and themselves more than just mystery boxes. Gannon has talked about wanting his own line of discs, so I'm assuming they will roll that out fairly soon. For those wondering if you can bag all the House of Discs molds, the answer is no, per Dana Vici on Twitter. Gannon put an end to the speculation of what he was going to bag after Discmania posted his preseason in the bag. Go check that to hear all the reasonings he bagged some of the discs he did. I'll give you some of my thoughts, however. Putting with the P3X is a solid choice. I'll never mess with Rainmakers in the bag. I can't wait for even more people to try convince me that MD3 is cool, but Gannon is bagging one that Eagle used to, and that's pretty dope. If you noticed, a lot of the discs he had in his bag were already seasoned. Just shows that he's done his research on the best runs. He even dropped the fact I would only imagine the biggest Discmania nerd would know, saying the black and teal Horizon run of DD3s were the best run from an overstable with slight dome perspective. He said the PD was his favorite disc to be throwing right now and the DD is underrated. The last thing I wanted to highlight is him saying that a lot of these discs were unlike anything he's had before. The kid is already a prodigy, pun intended. Now he has better discs. I'm excited to see what Gannon will be able to do. Comment what you think his signature series is going to be, or if Discmania will just start to roll out his own line in the next couple weeks. In other disc golf news, someone shared a Reddit thread to X of someone claiming that Ricky Wysocki's caddy told him that Eagle is signing with MVP. If you didn't know, Ricky is not a fan of people leaking sponsorship announcements. In the past, going on to say, seems like a lot of players that are switching manufacturers have been kept on the DL. Love to see the players being able to make the announcement and get the hype they deserve, instead of everyone trying to leak all their sources on where everyone's going. So Brody had to ask Ricky himself. Ricky got a bit confused, but that's okay because his caddy made it clear in those Facebook DMs. Fern set the record straight. They are not worried about Eagle and what he is doing. They're focused on some majors and elite series. Funny enough, he never denied telling anyone anything. If it was me, I probably would have made that pretty clear. Ricky must have reread the previous tweets at this point and said, "As I've always said, anytime you hear from my camp, I won't be leaking deals. Tune into Eagle's channel if you want to find out where he's going. He's the one that deserves the hype during this time, not me." Glad we got that sorted out. You know nothing is going on when we're talking about this. Brody later goes on to say, "I can't imagine what would happen if disc golf got bigger and brought more journalists, more YouTube channels trying to get eyeballs. I poke fun every now and again on here and people flip out. I question if those people have any clue what goes on in other sports." The Broadster's right on this one. I'll just leave it at that. If you thought Eagle made a mistake releasing 17 videos on his YouTube channel in one day, he actually was just posting his old Patreon videos. Why? I don't know, but we got free Eagle content. Why are you complaining? The cryptic message that MVP had slowly been rolling on Instagram is officially done. After all the hype from disc golf social media claiming this was Eagle's announcement and that they could see the E, just for it to be the damn pixel reveal. It might be one of the most disappointing reveals of 2024. Not as bad as Clash Discs announcing the new tone plastic. I know it was a long shot that Eagle was going to end up there, but the hype was built up too high for a Clash fanboy like me. I did have more hope that Nicholas Antilla signing was possible, but I'll just keep telling you guys to watch Evan Smith and the big things he's going to do this year. It was smart of the brands to have these announcements as close to Eagle as possible to bank in on the hype. Sure, the letdown is pretty disappointing, but that's our fault for feeding into it. The new tone technology brings a stiffer plastic to the bottom rim, which makes the disc torque resistant. The top then is a mixture of premium plastic. Not sure what that's supposed to accomplish, and I reread the benefits over 3 times. I'll still be buying one if there's ever a honey though, and you best believe it. It also looks like MVP has some new discs coming our way for the new Simon line. Catch me bagging the lens cap when it drops. The names are pretty hit and miss, but if it's in the Simon line, call me Fry because take my money. Talking about stupid names, Innova has a new disc on the way too. This one called the Racer. Still better than the It, but not by much. It looks like another Destroyer ripoff that everyone who shouldn't be bagging one will be throwing. Classic Innova move. Chris Clemens' announcement to Discraft seemed pretty weak after Hannah Wynn was revealed earlier last week. Clemente would have been a dope Clash disc. Just saying. I was scrolling through Reddit and saw this tier list. I disagree with about 9 of the guys up there, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, I know Macbeth was dirty, but what Gannon did last year was insane, and I'm betting on it holding up for the next couple years. So give me Burr's the best putter in disc golf bet. Lastly, the flock over the DDO need your help deciding the 2024 designs that they'll be wearing posted up on hole 16 at the country club. Hopefully I'll be able to make it out there, but I'm going to need a reason to get to Emporia for a 3rd time. That's everything that happened in disc golf from the weekend. If you enjoyed, make sure to smack that like button and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the disc golf world. Oh, and if you want to hear about that time Swiss Cheese and I lived in a minivan while we spectated the World Championships, check out the video right here.